We begin this hour with your local election headquarters. Tonight we go one-on-one with Democratic presidential candidate Tom Steyer. 17's Eytan Wallace spoke exclusively with him and joins us with his message to Kern County voters. Eytan?
Well, during our conversation, Steyer addressed a number of issues, including his top priority of climate change. He also wants Kern County voters to know he has a plan to combat homelessness. And on energy, he has a message for those who work in Kern's oil industry.
Eytan Wallace, KGET, thank you so much for taking the time.
He's running for the White House, and tonight Democratic presidential hopeful Tom Steyer is speaking exclusively with KGET. Why are you running for president?
Well, I'm running for president because we have a broken government. It's been purchased by corporations, and if we're going to get any of the progressive policies that I think virtually everyone in this country wants, we're going to have to take back our government and go back to government of, by, and for the people.
A self-described political outsider, Steyer lives in San Francisco, where he made his money as a hedge fund manager.
I'm Tom Steyer. It's time to speak out, please.
In 2013, Steyer founded what was then known as Next Gen Climate, today called Next Gen America, a nonprofit dedicated to climate action. Now, he wants to act on climate from the Oval Office.
My #1 priority is climate. There's no question that we actually have to deal with this. I've said I would declare a state of emergency on day one and use the emergency powers of the presidency. If you want to talk about climate and do it the right way, you have to start with environmental justice. You have to start in the communities, overwhelmingly African American and Latino communities, where you can't breathe the air safely and you can't drink the water that comes out of the tap.
On homelessness, Steyer says his plan would double the amount of money the federal government allocates to homeless services and affordable housing. But he says that is just a start.
I'm from California. We are the center of homelessness in this country, and I realize it starts with a roof over over someone's head, but we have to include the wraparound services, including specifically mental health services and support, so that people can really get back on their feet.
On oil and energy, Steyer believes California and the rest of the country need to transition to renewable sources. I asked him to address the people who work in Kern's oil industry. Kern County is the leading oil-producing county in the state and in the United States, but recently Governor Newsom said he's planning to greatly limit oil production in Kern County. Are you in favor of oil production, and how do you address the citizens of Kern County who rely heavily on the oil economy?
Look, as we move to a clean energy economy, there are going to be declining industries. What I have said is that under no circumstances will we solve our climate problem on the backs of people in those industries. So I have set aside $50 billion for people who are in declining industries to make sure that they are held harmless in terms of pay and benefits. We're going to have to rebuild this country. We're going to create millions and millions of good-paying union jobs. What we need to make sure is that if people in Kern County are in a declining industry, that they're at the front of the line for good-paying union jobs as we rebuild this country.
Before running for office, Steyer spent his own money on commercials pushing for the impeachment of President Trump. When I asked him if he felt it was money well spent, even if the president is not removed from office, Steyer replied he had no regrets, adding funding those ads, in his words, was the right thing to do. Now, meantime, Steyer says he plans to make a visit to Fresno later this month. And a reminder now, we invite all candidates from both sides of the aisle to appear on 17 News to share with us why they deserve your vote. In the newsroom, Eytan Wallace, 17 News.